ASAP, 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 ASAP. Hey, 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 hey.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy. All right, so let's talk about this draft, man. Okay, so day two, we did not do a very good on the draft, man. Like I enjoyed day one when we set depth in our trenches with Andre Dillard. That was really cool because the key to our destiny this season is keeping Carson Wentz upright and healthy. Like you always want to, like just protect your franchise quarterback, and I feel like that was the reason why we went O lineman on day one in the first decision on Howie Roseman's part, man. I feel like Howie Roseman is one of the few GMs in the league that actually did their homework on who to draft. But I feel like he made a great decision on day one in the draft. But when it comes to like the second days, is where like I'm lost. Why do we draft a running back? We don't need a running back. Do you not already see our running back room right now? We have Corey Clement, who's going to be a Pro Bowler in the future. We got Josh Adams, was recently having shoulder surgery and is going to come back and probably have a monster year, based off his stats. What he had, like 129 carries for 500 yards, and I think he only played I think at best 7 games. So he was over halfway there through like the half of the season. So a healthy Josh Adams would seem like a probable 1,000-yard rusher for us, which is something that we didn't have in 2016, 2017, or 2018. I'm saying, but still getting 2017 or 2018. I'm saying, but still getting to the playoffs. So with a stout running game and a threat to run for 1,000 yards, you can't beat that. So I felt like we already had two. I mean, and that's just two I named. And then Darren Sproles is still staying. So we still have our scat backs. And then we got Corey Clement, who has hands out the backfield and can touch the rock. So I feel like we did not need to draft this young man, Miles Sanders, in the second round. I felt like we could have used that pick for a linebacker or somebody to beef up our secondary. Because who wouldn't want depth in the secondary? Even though you could argue that we found a lot of good talent out of the practice squad last year when virtually all our secondary went down. So I feel like that pick could have been used. Now I'm not arguing the pick against Arsenio Whiteside, but I'm talking about as far as like picking Miles Sanders, picking up a running back in the draft. I feel like we did not need to do that. I feel like that was a terrible decision on our part. Just because of all the running back talent we already have in our locker room. I feel like we should have used that on a linebacker or somebody in our secondary. Or at least you could have got maybe somebody in the trenches, more like another edge rusher, or maybe somebody like in our interior to really beef up our interior. But that's just my opinion on that, man. I just disagree with getting a running back. We did not need a running back because now he's going to go in, all the pressure of coming in of not only he's got to compete with Saquon on the Giants, because as y'all know, Miles Sanders was number 2 to Saquon from the university he came from. I just can't think of it right now. But he was second string on the list to Saquon Barkley. So not only does he have to compete with variety, but he also has to compete with a running back room that already has more experience than him. Do you not know what that's going to do to this man's confidence? And I forgot to mention Jordan Howard. How dumb of me, right? I mean, I feel like this is a bad move on our part. I really feel like we could have used that pick better, but again, what do I know? I'm not a football GM. This is just purely my opinion about it. I just felt like we really could have used that pick because there was still talent in the secondary in that draft. There was still talent for linebacker within that draft. So I just don't see why we did running back. However, I do agree with Whiteside. You know, having a young receiver on a depth of wide receivers is pretty good. So I have no problem with the way we pick a wide receiver, but a running back, it just doesn't make any sense, man. Like it's like because and then you got to ask how many touches is he really going to get? I mean, because you got to share it. Because the bulk of the ball is going to Jordan Howard, and then you're so we got Jordan Howard who has to get the ball, and then you got Josh Adams, then you got Corey Clement, and then you got a depth of other running backs that we use. You know, like is he going to take Wendell Smallwood's spot? Is he going to take Darren Sproles' spot? Because how many running backs can you really have on a roster like that and still distribute the ball like that? Because I don't think Jordan Howard is going to share snaps with anybody. I don't think he came to Philadelphia to share snaps. I mean, I feel like this is going to cause a lot of confusion in our running back locker room, which is why I just don't feel like we should have used this pick. I think we should have used this pick for our linebacker, really. Linebacker, then defensive back. That's just my opinion.